to you. Welcome to the 8th day of January for 2021. Are you in the groove yet? Or you gotten to the point where you can say that confidently? Oh, it's 2021. You don't hesitate and go, yeah, it is 2020. I hope that's the case. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Gresham. Welcome into my house this morning where we just kind of, hold for it, have a little bit of time together, talk about some things, have a cup of coffee. I'm having mine out of the thermos cap today because I ran in. I've been doing stuff all morning long for the morning show on KFDM TV, so I haven't really had a whole lot of time. But if you missed it earlier, I'm still bragging on this. This is the best thermos. You know what? It took me back in time when I saw this, and I had to have it because it reminded me of as a kid. The dads would have their work boxes, remember that? Lunch boxes, and they'd have a thermos in it. They weren't maybe necessarily this big, but this is perfect for a guy who gets up in the middle of the night and goes to work because it holds a pot of coffee, a pot. So it's my new best friend. I had a great one, I had one before, but it didn't hold as much, and it didn't have the silver cup that came with it. So anyway, I'm enjoying a cup of coffee. I want to encourage you to do the same thing this morning as we get started. I missed you yesterday, but the fallout from Wednesday was a little bit overwhelming yesterday at the office. I didn't get a chance, and it is Dan's at-home update, so not being here, I couldn't do the update. But you know what? I don't want to spend our time this morning talking about that. There are so many sources out there. There's so much conversation about this event previously this week in the nation's capital. And I said from the beginning that when we started doing Dan's at-home update, that our focus was going to be on our community. Our focus was going to be on my world, your world, which I'll be honest with you, I'm concerned we should all be watching, we should all be paying attention to what's happening in national politics. But the reality is, I can't do much about what was happening. You can't do, except by, taking care of business here at home. So my choice is to focus in on things that are going on here. And I have kind of a follow-up on something that we talked about earlier this week when we were talking about vaccines. I want to get to that this morning. But before we do, let's go to the first place you can catch up on what's happening in local news. That is KFDM.com. You can go there and you can see what's going on. If you want to this morning, you can find out what's happening by, of course, clicking on all the stories if you want. You see we have a story about Dave Phelan, who is Dave Phelan is a local representative. You may be saying to yourself, Phelan, as in Phelan Avenue. Yes, that family or generations of that family. But Dave, who has been actively involved in politics for quite some time, will be the next Speaker of the House here in the state of Texas. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. And we have not had anyone from Southeast Texas in that position, as I understand it, since like 1941, and that person was from Liberty County. So if you don't understand the hierarchy of Texas government and Texas politics, that's probably the third ranking political position in the state of Texas: governor, lieutenant governor, and then Speaker of the House. So go and check out the story. Angel San Juan does a good job, as always, talking with the next Speaker of the Texas House about what he sees as the issues facing our state. And they're probably issues that you're probably all going to be agreeing with when he talks about, how do we deal with COVID? How do we deal with economic recovery from COVID? How do we move forward with education after all of us have seen children within our own spheres that have struggled with online learning? Where do we go from here? So it's in the story. I think you'll enjoy watching that one. We also have a story about, as I mentioned, from a local perspective, what happened Wednesday in the nation's capital, local representatives weighing in. It's all there at KFDM.com. As always, I'm not going to spoon feed you because that's not my job. I want you to go and read these things for yourself. Go and do your own research, if you will. Also, an interesting story about Port Arthur's Health Department educating the public on COVID-19 vaccines. Now, if you were with us On the last time we got together, that's where I went. And I launched in about the fact that, I'm hearing from all these different people, far and wide. How do I get a vaccine? What do I have to do? I know there are a lot of people that are sitting back going, I'm not too sure. I don't know if I want to. I'm not, I'm concerned about, being too quickly. That's fine. That's just like everything else in life. It is about your risk tolerance and where you want to go. But there are a whole lot of us, and I count myself among them. I will take the vaccine. As soon as the vaccine is made available to me, I will take the vaccine. I'm more than willing to be the guinea pig for everyone else to see what happens. But I'm also older than a lot of people, and I've lived my life, and I'm ready. Well, there are a lot of people who apparently are in the same situation. So I'm being overwhelmed with questions, comments. How do I get this? What do I have to do? So in answer to those things, I want to spend some time focusing on that this morning. First, if you want to say hi this morning, if you want to say good morning, I love it. I like to know that you're there. I can see all your comments as they pop up. I have a chance to read them all. I can see them during the live stream. I certainly, if I don't pop them up on the screen, I will look at them after the day is over and go through those. But if you have a question, a comment, this is the place that you need to go if you want to make it. Just like you would do, if you were responding to any other Facebook post. This is a Facebook live stream, so it's I can see it. We can communicate back and forth. It's a nice way to do that. And again, always enjoy seeing what's going on with you and where you're watching from. And here's Don Foxworth says, I drink mint tea. I'm with you. I have, here's the way I work, Don. I have coffee in the morning. Then in the day, as the day goes on, I will generally progress to some type, usually Earl Grey or something like that, awake tea, whatever, to get me going. But I got you, all right? So, all right, that being said, your comments will be read. Let's jump into this. I don't have a whole lot of time this morning, but I found an article that I think all of you should read if you're interested in knowing what's going on. Why is this so confusing? Why is this so hard, right? Why is this so hard for us to do? We had months to prepare for these vaccines. How come it's so frustrating? Well, this is Texas Tribune, and Ross Ramsey does a very good job of just packaging the question and the whole point of view of what's going on. And, these are some of the lines. People waiting in line to get the vaccine. Isn't that, I don't know. I just see that as, here we are trying to avoid, contact with other people, and yet you're standing in line to get the shot for the vaccine. But he does a good job of summing up what some of the issues are. The fact that the shipments are here. Now, originally, if you've been following this story, you know that the very first category that this, was supposed to be healthcare and nursing home workers first, then essential workers, followed by adults with high medical condition, and those who were 65 years old or older. But what happened was we started getting these vaccines coming into the state, and suddenly somebody says, oh, we're not doing this fast enough. So instead of rolling it out slowly, suddenly they open it up to all of those people at the same time. And people are overwhelmed. Clinics, doctors, drugstores. But now it becomes, where do you find it? Here's what I want to read to you. Latest official declaration Thursday, Texas State Department of State Health Services, quote, vaccine remains limited based on capacity of the manufacturers to produce it. So it will take time for Texas to receive enough vaccine for the people in the priority populations who want to be vaccinated. The supply is expected to increase in the coming months, and additional vaccines are in clinical trials and may be authorized by the Food and Drug Administration. So what are they telling us? They're telling us, don't expect to get it immediately unless you just, for lack of a better phrase, get lucky. The governor has been talking about it. And he points out that Texas has used a greater share of available doses than most states, but still, we have vaccinated about 1.4 million people in the state, so that only leaves about 28 million to go. And the hope is, of course, moving forward, that things will get better as you have more vaccine and as you have more people involved in the process, that maybe you can open up facilities that function better. People will get the hang of what's going on and you don't have the hangups. All right, so I want to take this and show you some of the resources that are available to you at home to use. All right, here's one of them. You know the website I keep telling you to go to, which is Texas Health and Human Services, and they have the COVID dashboard, and I've showed you that a lot, right? Well, they also have a dashboard for vaccine. This is what it looks like. It shows you how many people have been vaccinated at least one time. 527,000 people who are fully vaccinated, meaning they've got both doses. 13,979 doses shipped. 1.3 million. So why the discrepancy, right? How can you have 1.3 sitting here but only 500,000 administrated? That's what people want to know. I mean, that is the burning issue this morning. So that being said, if you see, there's another page that you can click right here, a link on this page. Blue line. You click that blue line, okay? And it will take you to the home page for COVID information, for COVID vaccine information. Talks about things you need to know, but it also, look right here, what's next with COVID-19 vaccine in Texas? Here's the arrow, limited supply. And it talks about 1A and 1B. You can be in either one of them, right? 1B are the people that I'm hearing most from. That's person 65 plus. That's a lot of people. That's a big demographic. If you'd said, 75 plus, you might have narrowed it down a bit. But 65 is a large group of people. So here you go. Who can get the vaccine now? It breaks it all down for you, tells you who it is. Am I eligible? You can ask that question. But here's where I want you to go. Look, right here in the middle of the page, COVID-19 vaccine provider location map. And there's a good chance you've already been here. If you really want the vaccine, you've done your homework, you've searched, all right? Say okay to that. You put in the city you're in. Let's say we're in Beaumont, just for ease. I hit Beaumont. It takes me to a Beaumont location on the map, and then it shows me all these different locations. These are all distribution points, people that are the vaccine providers, okay? So I can go to Baptist Hospital, and it tells me that they've got 1,950 over here on this side, shipped Pfizer doses, and it says pending, available, pending. Moderna, and you can do this for every one of these dots. It will bring it up. And then it says website, more info, right? So you go to the hospital's information page, and I have not been on this one, but I'm assuming somewhere in here, it's going to tell you about the vaccine. Let me go back a step. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to go, instead of going to Baptist, I'm going to go to the places that I've been before. I've been to Christus, and I've been to their website, and you answer all of the questions. A little chat box right there will pop up. You walk through the chat box, and it will ask you all these questions. Do you agree? Okay, I agree. It will ask you, or what are you here for? Well, I want a vaccine and eligibility. Okay, well, are you eligible? Well, am I eligible? You can answer the questions and find out right here. Check my eligibility. It will walk you through the process. You give it the zip code, wherever you happen to live. I'm going to give it 77701 and hit, and enter. Didn't 77701 enter. And then it's going to come back and it's going to tell me, oh, I see that you live in Beaumont, so you're good. Have you gotten a vaccine yet? No, I haven't. Then it's going to ask me if you previously tested positive for COVID. No, I haven't. Then it's going to ask me, have you been exposed in the last 14 days? No, I haven't. Have you received antibody treatment? No, I haven't. And then it's going to ask me how old I am. And I put it in, and it's going to tell me, hey, guess what? You're eligible. Would you like to schedule an appointment? Based on your responses, you're in their first priority group. So I say yes, and they tell me I need to go to this location. So then it will tell you want to schedule an appointment and take you to Christus, where you can look at all of these dates, and you're thinking, oh, great, just pick a date and I'll be able to get vaccinated. Well, not so fast. Slow your roll, because none of these click up. You're thinking, oh, I got to click on one of these, but as far as I've been able to tell, that doesn't work. All right, so I guess my real major point this morning is try not to get frustrated about this. If you want the vaccine, it may just take some time, because it's essentially on you. Nobody's going to call you and say, oh, Mr. Jones, you're now in queue. It's your turn to come and get a vaccination. It ain't the way it's going to happen. You're going to have to search it out. But you're going to have to be diligent about doing it. And we, as the media, are going to have to be better about telling you how much is in the neighborhood. Because you can look, okay, let's say that Christus, I'm looking at theirs, and they've got almost 2,000 doses. That'll be gone in a snap. When you think about 65 plus in Beaumont, that'll be gone in a snap. So it's going to take time. And that's what the state, I think, is trying to tell us. They would like to get it done. There's just not enough doses. So be patient. It's coming. That's my message to you today. I know it's not easy. All right, I want to finish up. Always try to finish on something a little bit lighter this morning. I thought this was an interesting story. USA Today, scientists say Earth is spinning faster than it has in decades. And we may have to add a leap second. Yeah, find out why. Go to USA Today. They have a good article from Life Science. You can all read it there. All right. Do me a favor. Let me know one way or the other. And I know I will ask this again, maybe at the top of one of our get-togethers. Are these still valuable to you? Do they still have some kind of currency? Is it still, is the information valuable enough for me to keep doing this on a daily basis or whenever I'm home? If you'll let me know one way or the other, that can kind of determine how we go moving forward. You can leave me a comment and let me know. I'll ask this again over, because I only want to do this if you want to be here. There are other things that I certainly, not anything more important than you. I promise you that. I'd rather spend my time with you, but I just, a little input, because if you're not there and it's not something that you really need, then you could probably better invest your time in something else. But if you want it, you want us to keep doing this, I want to do it for you. It's that simple. Do want to remind you, too, there are several ways you can keep up with what's going on. You can go to the Facebook page where you are right now. You can also go to Twitter, follow us, Morning TV Dan, or you can also go to YouTube. We have a page there. It's called Dan's at Home. You can subscribe. All of the updates we go directly to the YouTube page, so you can view them later. All right. So again, a like would be appreciated. A comment would be even more appreciated today as we head into the weekend, because like I said, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a need, or if it's something that you want us to continue doing. I want to serve you. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. I want to serve you. All right, so I'm going to bug out of here. The weekend is here. Woohoo! Going to enjoy it. I'm busy. I've got a Lamar basketball game on ESPN that I'm doing this weekend. I'm sure you're busy too, so make the most of it. But be safe as you go about your business. Remember, we all have to learn to deal with this life on our own, right? There's no handbook necessarily that's going to tell you how to get through this. So we'll do the best we can. All right, go out and make it a terrific weekend. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Again, have a terrific day.